guys, we read the prologue and chapter 1 last time, called Back into the Woods, and today we're going to start chapter 2, called The Open Book, and that's going to start on page 10. So I'm going to look at the bottom, and if I look at this book, it looks like the page numbers are in the middle on the bottom, so that's where I want to look for page 10, starting with The Open Book. Here we go. Chapter 2, The Open Book. Jack showed Annie the piece of paper. It said, "Help me, under a spell, find 4 thing." "Oh no," said Annie. "We have to help her. But what's a thin?" "Maybe she was trying to write things," said Jack. "See how the N sort of runs off the page? Maybe the spell was trying to make her disappear or something," said Annie. "Right," said Jack. "I wonder if she left any other clues." He glanced around the treehouse. "Look!" Annie pointed at a book in the corner. "That's the only open book," she said. Jack looked around again. Annie was right. He felt a shiver go down his spine. Jack went over to the book and picked it up. He held it near the window. Light from the setting sun was golden on the page. Jack stared at the picture on it. In the picture were trees with white flowers. The trees were on the side of a mountain, near a wide rushing stream. 2 people were also in the picture. They wore dark clothes. They had black scarves over their faces, and long swords strapped to their backs. "Oh, man," whispered Jack. "Who are they?" Annie asked. "Ninjas, I think," said Jack. "Ninjas? Really?" said Annie. "Morgan must have left the book open to this page for a reason," said Jack. "Maybe that's where she was when the spell got her," Annie said. "Or maybe that's where the 4 things are," said Jack. "Let's go," said Annie. "Now?" said Jack. "Yes, Morgan's in trouble. She needs us now," said Annie. Did you guys notice how I said now nice and loud? Because this word looks different than these words. This is called italicized. That's when the letters go from up and down to slightly slanted like that. That means it must be an important word. So when I'm going to read that again, "Yes, Morgan's in trouble. She needs us now," said Annie. "But we should read this book first," said Jack, "so we'll be prepared." "Forget it," said Annie. "Every minute counts." She grabbed the book from Jack. "Give it back," he said. "We have to find out about this place." Annie held the book out of reach. "We'll find out when we get there," she said. "We don't even know where there is," Jack said. But Annie pointed at the picture. "I wish we could go here," she said. The leaves of the oak tree began to shake. Squeak! "Don't be scared, Peanut," said Annie. She scooped up the mouse. Then she put it in the pouch of her sweatshirt. The wind began to blow. It blew harder and harder. The treehouse started to spin faster and faster. Jack squeezed his eyes shut. Then everything was still, absolutely still, except for the sound of rushing water. Chapter 3. Ehai? I'm not sure what that says. I'm going to have to look in the story to find out what that's supposed to be. I know the E says an E sound, and HY probably says hi. Ehai? That's my guess. I'm going to have to read to find out. Also, if I look at the cover, remember we talked about this last time? What does Annie have in her pocket? It must be the little mouse they found. They named the mouse what again? I'm going to go back and look at the last page to help me remember. Oh yeah, Peanut. That must be Peanut. We're going to go ahead with chapter 3. Jack opened his eyes. Annie was already looking out the window. The mouse peeked out of her pouch. Jack looked out the window too. The air was fresh and cool. The treehouse was in a tree with white flowers. The tree was in a grove of trees on the side of a mountain. Nearby, a wild stream rushed downhill. 2 ninjas were standing on rocks near the water. They were staring at the valley below. One ninja was tall, the other was short. They wore black pants and shirts. They had black scarves around their heads, and swords strapped to their backs. It was exactly like the picture in the book. Jack crouched below the window. "Be careful," he whispered. "Don't let them see you." "Why not?" Annie whispered back. "They might think we're some kind of enemy," said Jack quietly. Annie crouched beside him. Jack pushed his glasses into place. Now he was going to look at the ninja book. He picked up the book. He turned to the beginning. He read, "Very little is known about the shadowy warriors called ninjas. Historians believe that ninjas lived in Japan between the 14th and 17th centuries. Both men and women were ninjas. Sometimes they fought to protect their families. Sometimes warlords hired them to be spies." "Wow," whispered Jack. "We're in Japan hundreds of years ago." Jack opened his backpack. He pulled out his notebook and pencil. He liked to take notes. He wrote, "Ninjas were warriors in old Japan." "Jack," whispered Annie, "they're looking up. I think they know we're here." Jack peeked over the windowsill. His eyes met the dark eyes of the tall ninja. "Ee-hi!" the ninja cried. He dashed toward the tree. The other ninja followed. "Oh no," said Annie. "We've got to go," Jack said. "Where's the Pennsylvania book?" He and Annie looked around wildly. But where was the book about Pennsylvania? It had the picture of Frog Creek Woods in it. Jack and Annie couldn't get home without it. "It's not anywhere," cried Annie. "We've got to do something fast," said Jack. "Pull up the ladder." He and Annie grabbed the top of the rope ladder. They pulled the ladder into the treehouse, but the tall ninja leaped at the tree trunk. Then he started climbing up the tree. The short ninja followed. They climbed just like cats. Wow, look at the ninjas climbing up the tree. This must be the tall one, and that must be the short one, because he came first. Also, he looks a little bit longer than that one. Jack and Annie huddled in a corner. The ninjas climbed into the treehouse. Neither one made a sound. Chapter 4 is called Captured. Dun dun dun. All right, we'll read more next time. I hope you guys enjoyed chapters 2 and 3 of Night of the Ninjas. Dun dun dun.